you ever wondered how each person is unique in all their features, whether they're physical, psychological, or emotional? Genetic diversity is indeed an extremely fascinating subject. Every single person on Earth has their own individual features and personalities. Let's take a look at these people with real amazing genetic mutations which make them stand out amongst the crowds. Before we get started, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. Michelle Kish, Hallermann-Streiff syndrome. If you're social media savvy, there's a good chance you've already come across Michelle. This 22-year-old is a famous social media figure. She gained public attention with her adorable videos that started getting millions of views and even more love from the viewers. Michelle was born with Hallermann-Streiff syndrome, which is a genetic disorder that causes characteristic and distinctive malformations in the patient. Some of the features include deformities of the facial and skull bones, short stature, thin and sparse hair. There are only about 250 known cases of this disease globally, but this disorder could not manage to keep the Illinois resident Michelle Kish from making the most of her life. Although she has an extraordinary medical care regimen and her lifestyle is also not the same as that of an average person, she chooses to see the brighter side of life and uses her popularity to create awareness and spread positivity. We commend her optimistic outlook. Isaac Hughes, Mobius syndrome. Some people might know Isaac Hughes as the boy who was born without the ability to smile. Isaac was diagnosed with an unusual condition called the Mobius syndrome at birth. The syndrome has definitely made life harder for the 13-year-old boy, who still struggles with the display of simple, everyday emotions. It's a neurological disorder affecting the function of the cranial nerves to the face. This leads to an extreme form of facial paralysis. It's not only smiling that Isaac struggles with, but sometimes it's even difficult for him to speak. That must be emotionally traumatizing for the poor boy. Fortunately, Isaac and his family have figured out a solution to his lifelong problem. Plastic surgeons with years of expertise think that the smile operation will help Isaac recover and express himself better through his face. The method will require the surgeons to grab facial muscles inside of Isaac's cheeks, which in turn will make it possible for him to smile. They have also emphasized that the operation is going to be pretty big and risky. Isaac's parents are, however, hoping the surgery will allow their little boy to smile from ear to ear. Wouldn't we all love to see that happen now? Liam Derbyshire, congenital central hypoventilation syndrome. Meet Liam Derbyshire, the 20-year-old boy who lives a life we can only have nightmares about. Imagine being susceptible to death every time you fall asleep. What a terrifying thought, right? But for Liam, this is unfortunately his routine. Born in South Hampshire, Liam has been diagnosed with what the medical specialists have named congenital central hypoventilation syndrome. He's at risk of dying every time he goes to bed. This extremely rare condition leads to respiratory insufficiency and arrest. The reason being, air improperly fills the lungs while the body is asleep. Because of this terribly risky situation, Liam has to be plugged into a life support machine every single night. This is a rare condition with only 1,500 known cases worldwide. Liam is one of the lucky people who've managed to survive past the life expectancy associated with this disease. When he was born, the doctors predicted he would hardly make it past 6 weeks, but this miracle child pulled through and is now well versed in the management of his condition. He's adapted to his extraordinary lifestyle and critical sleeping schedule. Brave, right? Davy Wickland, Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. This young boy is a Renton, Washington native teenager named Davy Wickland. He suffers from a particular condition in which he ends up hitting himself every single day. He was born with a rare self-mutilating disease called Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Besides self-mutilation, this disorder also causes developmental delay and movement restriction in the patients. The 13-year-old boy has to be under strict supervision to prevent him from causing extreme pain to himself. Unfortunately, Davy is permanently strapped to his wheelchair as he cannot help but hurt, hit or bite himself or anyone that gets in his way. Wickland's safety is the #1 priority of his family, who ensures he's always strapped down and never left alone. Prunshu, mystery condition. This one is a genetic mutation no one has correctly diagnosed as of yet. This is a 10-year-old Prunshu, a resident of Jalandhar, India. Some people also believe he's the reincarnation of the Hindu god Ganesha. Prunshu was born with a protruding, swollen forehead and wide-set eyes. According to his father, he had a unique appearance since birth, and because of this, people of his village now worship him. His eyes have been compared to Lord Ganesha, and his head is still growing. Medical professionals have failed to give this condition a definitive name or reason. His father is however elated that instead of being bullied or treated badly, Pranshu has been accepted as the reincarnation of Ganesha by his village and receives immense love and adoration from them. Lalit Patidar, hypertrichosis. Lalit is pretty famous in his hometown for his condition. He's a schoolboy who now goes by the name Werewolf Boy. He isn't just your ordinary 14-year-old teenager. He has a rare condition since birth called hypertrichosis. This means he's been battling extreme amounts of hair growth since birth, especially on his face, arms, and most parts of his body. It took him a while to just embrace the body he was naturally born with. Although he did face some bias and judgment for his appearance, and he did grow up as an outcast in his town, his school friends and fellows have been extremely supportive of his situation. They refuse to let Lalit's condition define him. His teachers say that Lalit is quite popular among his classmates and everyone adores him. It wasn't always the case, however, as when he started school, people did have a hard time coming around, but with time, everyone has embraced him with open arms and nobody treats him differently. Gabriel Cooper, Pierre-Robin syndrome. These extraordinary twins have garnered a lot of interest online because of their condition. These two guys you see in the video are identical twins, Gabriel and Hardy Cooper. But are you as surprised as we are? How can identical twins look this different from each other? The answer to this was later provided by doctors who diagnosed Gabriel with Pierre-Robin syndrome. It's a rare congenital birth defect characterized by abnormalities of the head and face. In this case, Gabriel Cooper was born with an undeveloped jaw. Fortunately for him, after years of looking utterly different from his identical twin, Gabriel was given the option to surgically have his jaw reconstructed by using metal rods and bringing the jaw forward. Plastic surgery therefore helped Gabriel regain his confidence. Although he wasn't unhappy with his situation, he does believe that the surgery will help boost his confidence in his appearance. Tiffany York's mermaid syndrome. Who knew that mermaids were real and that they would exist on dry land? No, they're not magical creatures. Rather, mermaids exist because of a genetic condition called cyanomelia, also known as mermaid syndrome. This genetic mutation causes a deformity that makes the person's legs fuse together and look like a mermaid's tail. The oldest known person with this condition is Tiffany Yorks, who lived to be 27 years old before dying in 2009. Although Tiffany underwent surgery to get her legs separated, she was unable to walk without crutches and had many mobility problems because of her fragile bones. Tiffany was the longest surviving cyanomelia patient to date. Adalia Rose, Progeria. Number 1 on our list is a popular YouTube personality, Adalia Rose. Adalia is a famous YouTuber who has gained immense appreciation on the internet for facing her extremely rare genetic condition called progeria. This is a painfully traumatizing condition, not just for the child but also for the family as well. It causes the child's body to age at super speed. It's been estimated that people suffering from this disease age 8 times faster than the average person. This means that most children with progeria don't make it past their 13th birthday. Adalia, with her exceptional spirit and inspiring content, has managed to amass more than 2.7 million YouTube followers and around 13 million followers on Facebook. Because of her condition, Adalia has repeatedly been the subject of death rumors, but according to her doctors, she has a life expectancy of around 40 to 50 years. Her fans should therefore not worry, as Adalia will stay with them, virtually releasing awesome and inspiring content for a long time. So guys, this was all about the incredible and strange genetic mutations that have made certain people stand out. While some of these may be crippling diseases, the victims of these have a drastically optimistic approach towards life and have accepted their uniqueness. Now they move forward with hopes of making the best of their situation, and no doubt they deserve loads of appreciation and applause for that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for our newest releases. See you all soon.